On March 4th, clashes between the Russian armed forces and the Ukrainian military continued west of Kyiv. Russian forces have expanded the control zone in the area, forcing Ukrainian formations to retreat. Fierce battles are taking place in the village of Bucha. The Russian army took control of it on the morning of March 3rd, but the Ukrainian army launched a counteroffensive. Serious clashes also occurred in the village of Irpin. No significant changes of the situation took place near Kharkiv. Russian troops are on the northern outskirts of the city and bypass it from the southeast. They regularly deliver precise strikes on places where pro-Kiev forces are concentrated. In response, Ukrainian units used rocket launchers, at least some of which were deployed in residential areas. An operation to completely clean up the city from pro-Kiev forces is expected in the near future. In Mariupol, clashes continue in the suburbs of the city. The Ukrainian Army and nationalist battalions are trying to resist the superior forces of the DPR and Russia. Negotiations are underway to organize humanitarian corridors for the withdrawal of civilians. The operation to fully clean up the city from the remaining pro-Kiev units is yet to be launched. In Volnovka, the Russian military and forces of the People's Republics have been developing their operation to eliminate the grouping of the pro-Kiev forces there. The Ukrainian Army and nationalist battalions have suffered significant losses in manpower and equipment. At the same time, DPR forces have almost reached the town of Severodonetsk from the north. In the Slavyansk-Kramatorsk direction, Russian forces are advancing towards Krasny Liman from the northeast, having taken control of Balakia. They advance towards the settlement of Izium. At the moment, there are battles and airstrikes in the area. The main aviation targets are the remaining facilities occupied by the Ukrainian military and the territorial defense fighters. By taking Izium under control, the joint forces of Russia and the LPR will create the possibility of an encirclement of the grouping of Kiev forces in this area of operations. The Ukrainian military still holds positions near Horlivka. Pro-Kiev forces carry out regular artillery strikes on Donetsk. According to DPR authorities, civilian objects are the main targets. Mykolaiv is partially blocked by Russian forces. An operation is being prepared to take the city under full control. Eyewitnesses report a concentration of units of the Ukrainian Army and territorial defense forces in the southern outskirts. As of the morning of March 4th, no clashes were reported there. Intense fighting is taking place near Vesnitsensk. In order to hinder the attack on Kiev from the south, the Ukrainian military blew up 2 crossings across the Yuzhny Bug River. According to experts, the advance on Odessa is planned after the establishment of full control over Mykolaiv. In Kherson, Russian troops are gradually establishing full control over the region. The delivery of humanitarian aid has begun. The supply of water from the North Crimean Canal to the regions of the Crimean Peninsula was organized. Russian forces blocked the city of Chernihov. Fighting erupted to the north of it, however, no direct assault was launched. Meanwhile, the Russians started establishing control of the town of Inogodar. Now they are working to eliminate military positions of the Ukrainian army in the city. Late on March 3rd and early on March 4th, clashes took place in the area, including areas near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, where the Ukrainian army set positions. This allowed the Zelensky government to speculate that the Russian advance may endanger the nuclear plant. Despite this, local sources report that by the morning, Russians had established control and secured the facility. In general, Kiev troops are retreating to the north of the Zaporizhzhia region, where Russian armed forces are also advancing. The second round of the Ukrainian-Russian negotiations achieved no breakthrough. Nonetheless, the sides agreed to work on establishing green corridors for the evacuation of civilians and for deliveries of humanitarian aid.